Iowa, welcome. Max World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that are to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Max World. So join the conversation by calling 515-400-77. And now, here's the host of Max World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
Good afternoon, 6 minutes after the hour. 3 o'clock, 15th day of February in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy, back to another week, another day, and a warming. Actually supposed to get into the, are you ready? 50s this week. 50s in February. What a goofy winter this has been.
Really has.
Goofy fall, goofy winter.
No question.
The Farmer's Almanac did predict that we would have this type of weather pattern these last 3 months, 4 months, and the next couple months.
Not the groundhog, though, huh?
I was going to say, so did the little beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said the same thing. All right, wow. Been gone for 2 days and the whole world changes. Unbelievable. Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia. Anton Scalia, the last remaining decent conservative guy on the bench.
And we still have Clarence Thomas.
Is found mysteriously dead on a ranch with his head under a pillow, and they're not doing an autopsy. Bob, help me understand that. I don't get that.
Yeah, the only thing I think of is if law enforcement suspected foul play, then they would demand that, and it would be required. Or if the medical examiner thought there was something fishy. Usually, in those counties, a medical examiner investigator would go, especially since it's a high-profile person, little investigation.
But, I mean, there are very few higher-profile people in this country, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I would even put the justices above senators and congressmen. There's only 9 of them.
Right, but they don't get any kind of protection, as far as I know.
I know, but I don't know. I don't want to smell a rat. I don't want to think there's a rat. But I don't trust the rat that's in the White House or the one that's trying to run to take his job. A lot of people have died.
Yes, they have a Clinton Death Watch that has over 100+ members on it. And doctors, lawyers, nurses, all kinds of professional people that would have no reason to commit suicide. One of the strangest ones I read on the list was somebody who was found on a railroad track with his head run over, body run over, or whatever, but supposedly there was a gunshot wound to the head, and they called it natural causes. Britt Hume, the Fox News anchor, son Sandy Hume, died mysteriously during the Clinton era.
Really? What did he do?
I don't remember the instance surrounding his death, but it involved the Clintons. It would always involve some investigations, something going into the Clintons, numerous scandals. The one where Vince Foster and him had some situation going on where they was taking blood from Arkansas Penal Institute, involuntarily so, and supposedly it got shipped to Canada and some people got AIDS up in Canada. That stink was supposed to hit the fan when Vince Foster killed himself.
Killed himself?
Supposedly.
Well, I just don't understand why when a Supreme Court justice dies with no likely ideas of why that isn't automatic.
Okay, let me read this. This is from the Washington Post. It says here that the Presidio County Judge, Cinderella Guevara, pronounced Scalia dead of natural causes without seeing the body, which is permissible under Texas law, and without ordering an autopsy. Now, if I read further down, it says here that judge acknowledged that she pronounced Scalia dead by phone without seeing his body. Instead, she spoke to law enforcement officials at the scene who assured her there were no signs of foul play. And Scalia's physician in Washington, who said that the 79-year-old justice suffered from a host of chronic conditions. He was having health issues, she said, adding that she was awaiting a statement from Scalia's doctor that will be added to his death certificate when it is issued later this week.
I don't know. I just think that in some situations there just should be no doubt. I mean, I
agree with you.
I mean, in today's medicine, we can dissect that body to find out exactly what finally made him stop breathing, blood stop pumping through his brain, and his heart to stop.
Right. You can look for signs of all different types of disease that you can look for. You can also do toxicological screening to see if there are any type of drugs in the body and what the levels were.
I mean, I remember, and I watch way too many movies, but I remember they eventually found in the death of somebody a single needle injection between the littlest and the next to smallest toe. And that was something that would hardly ever be seen. But that's how a drug was administered to murder this individual in a movie or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, those are different ways. You know, if somebody really wanted to try to cover it up, they could do that. And there are different drugs that they could possibly use that would not show up in a typical screen.
But shouldn't we demand, well...
I'd like to, but we have nothing to do with it.
I know, but that's just wrong. It's just, there's so much right. I've got 6 Supreme Court cases, current cases, that the Supreme Court is looking at that will probably go the other way because Scalia is dead.
Well, can't the family demand some sort of autopsy on their own?
I don't know. It depends on the law of where they are. I don't know the laws.
In Texas, you never know.
Right. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Don't we ever as a country, we're really messed up. We're really messed up when it comes to morals. A guy dies who sits on the Supreme Court of the United States for over 2 decades. You think we could just at least find out why?
Yeah, he was there since 1986, appointed by Reagan.
30 years.
30
3
years.
decades.
30 years, and I think, the fact that it wasn't done or they're not going to do it means that it's going to be a conspiracy thing forever because no one's ever going to know, right?
Yeah, so why do they do that?
I don't know.
Do they do that on purpose just so us low information voters like to fodder?
Well, there is the famous story of the mafia hitman Richard Kuklinski, called the Iceman. I believe he's still alive, sitting in a penitentiary somewhere. But somehow he talked about this cyanide poisoning, I think it is, that basically you can blow into somebody's face or something, and the death resembles a heart attack, but they can't detect it. Is that?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, it could be missed depending on, if you do a typical drug screen, there are certain, if you're not looking for anything specifically, then it may be missed. It's a possibility that whatever, if it was a really odd drug or whatever, it could be missed. So, you can't check for every single drug or substance out there. You can't. But an autopsy, you could look at the body, look at the color, look at different things, and check it over, looking for injection sites. So it is something that I think should have been done, but I'm not calling shots.
I'm sure the body will be cremated, or already has been probably. I mean, today's Monday, and he died what, Saturday?
Saturday morning, I think.
Saturday morning, right. I don't know. Does it make you feel good about living in this country?
No.
It shouldn't. Frank's right.
Like I said, I know that there are many conspiracy theories that are out there because we haven't done enough investigation.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to eliminate that if you would just do the investigation.
Well, if you have any thoughts on that, you can call up. That is going to be one of our topics of conversation this morning, is the morals of this country seem to be, I don't even know if you can put them on a track. Now we have the right to life movement coming in, or the right to choose movement coming in and saying that, excuse me, in the state of Iowa, we need to have the ability to take our own lives if we want to. And that is all coming back from the David Hurd death a week ago Saturday, when he jumped to his death. That has now been confirmed by officials. There was a suicide note found. His wife went out to get him a prescription. He wrote the suicide note, or maybe he had it already written. And when she came back, his body was 22 floors down on the ground outside of the plaza in downtown Des Moines. And people are saying that that's one of the reasons the progressive community is jumping on this bandwagon to get this bill passed in the House, because if we had had that legislation already done here, David Hurd wouldn't have had to jump to his death. He could have been quietly and peacefully and without any pain allowed to die dignity. With dignity. But yet we don't care about life. We don't care about life. We say we do, but we don't. Well, you know, I'd never have an abortion, but if somebody wants to have it, that's all right. We don't care about life. David Hurd wanted to kill himself at the end to avoid all the pain and hassle. He should have been able to do that. We don't care about life or the quality of it. We'll talk about it later. And today, live here on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
afternoon, 21 minutes after the hour of 3 o'clock, 15th day of February. Had to think for a moment. Here in the Lord's Year 2016. J. Michael McCoy here, back on a Monday, along with you, the day after Valentine's Day. So, Frank, did you get any Valentine's candy?
No, but I bought some.
You did?
Yeah, for my mom and sister.
For your mom and your sister?
Yeah.
How about that special woman in your life?
That invisible woman, she got some invisible candy.
No, you and I, we have found a woman that you might want to have a relationship with. And you let Valentine's Day go by without letting her know that you were sweet on her.
Okay.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
That poor woman might be sitting at home crying all day yesterday because nobody gave her even a Valentine's Day card. And you were the last hope. Jesus himself wanted you to give her a Valentine's Day card, and you didn't do it.
He told you, but he didn't tell Frank, huh?
Yeah, he told me he didn't. Well, he told me to tell Frank, and I told Frank.
There you go.
You know, I was listening to a Fox poll about Valentine's Day, and they said, well, what do you get your honey for Valentine's? And some said flowers, some said chocolate. I didn't see anybody that said a big bear, teddy bear.
The Vermont teddy bears?
Right, but 61% said nothing.
Really?
61%.
Well, I was not in that 61% because I would have been 61% less likely to get smiled at all day yesterday. I went, so here's what I did. Would you like to hear what I did?
Yes.
Frank, this is romantic.
Okay.
Romantical.
All right.
That's a term I use.
Romanticism?
No, I'm romantical.
Okay.
That's a Macism. I made it up.
Okay.
So, you know that place called the Pickers that's over there on 63rd Street just south of Grand? And it used to be Manufacturer's Furniture Warehouse. Anyway, it's kind of like the, what is this place over here? The Brass Armadillo.
Yeah.
Where you go and you buy space to put your stuff in these cabinets or these areas.
Like a consignment shop?
Kind of like a consignment shop, yes. And so you go to those, and there's hundreds of these dealers there, and they all have some stuff in there. So I decided I was just going to walk around and find anything that made me think of Valentine's Day. So I find this little carved owl who is, I mean, it's not as tall as what is that, 3 inches, Bob?
Yep. Yeah.
It's not even 3 inches tall, probably not even 2 inches wide. It's a little owl sitting on a stump, and it says, "Be my Valentine." Guess how much I paid for that buck?
A buck.
A buck. That's right. I paid a buck for that buck, and it was cute. So then, down the road, this lady had, I suppose it was about the size of half a loaf of bread. About that long, not quite that high. 2 gorillas, 1 female, 1 male. This is our, not acrylic, clay, plaster.
Porcelain.
Talk into the
porcelain.
Mic. Yeah, no, that wasn't that good. This was cheap.
Oh.
And it was the Lovers Gorilla Bank. And they each had a slot behind them where you could put change in. And so what did I do? I said I'm what's the term I put? I said I'm crazy monkey in love with you or something like that, and put it on her dresser. Okay. Then I went out and bought. Remember, I'm cheap. I was already finding Valentine's Day candy on sale. And so these little things that were supposed to be like 79 cents, they were 3 for $1. And so I bought some of those, and I just left them in different places of the house. And then here's this plaque, and I want to see if I can get this right. Wooden plaque, like it was home painted, that says, "You'll never be as rich as me because I had a mommy who prayed for me." Now, remember what's going on here. We are we are 30 days away from the anniversary of her mother's death. First time, so it's starting to stir, starting to brew. And so I wrote a little card that Grandma JJ did it. for mom. Your mom did it for you. You do it for Andrea, and Andrea does it for Sydney. So that is 5 generations of our family right there. And I just hand wrote that and put that in front of her. And I pulled a Bible verse out from Deuteronomy that talked about family and women and girls and being loved. And I did not spend. My final bill was $13.30 with tax.
But you got a lot of making up to do.
I beg your forgiveness.
Well, let's remember these nasty sweaters you bought during Christmas time.
I took those back.
I know, but see, that's why you got to make up for Valentine's, because of them sweaters.
Well, I thought they were funny. They were Christmas sweaters.
They were funny, and she laughed at him and told you to take them back.
Yeah, she did. She laughed at me and told me to take them back, and I did. So anyway, what'd you get your wife, Bob?
Well, I spent 2.5 hours at Sam's, got her a battery for her car because her car was dead, and then I bought her a wiper blade because when I was there, I noticed the wiper blade was bad.
So you actually stepped out on your own and discovered. She didn't complain about it.
Well, she said the car battery wouldn't start.
Right.
So I went out and worked on it, checked it out, noticed that it looked pretty bad, so I took it in on Sunday.
Yeah.
And had them, work on it.
But you took your own initiative.
Yeah.
On the wiper blade.
Oh, yeah, and the battery.
There you go.
So you see something of value that, makes it...
That she couldn't have done herself.
She couldn't... she could have driven... Well, she'd have to start it somehow.
She couldn't have started it.
Right.
So you were priceless.
Yeah.
Plus her foot's bummed up, right?
She had foot surgery, so...
Right.
She's recovering from that.
Ryan, did you give anybody any Valentine's presents? Your mother, your sister, nobody? Nobody.
He's one of the 61%.
Okay. All right.
Hey, it's a man-made holiday, I mean, I guess the thing is, if they don't know and wait once a year to find out if you really like them or love them, I don't know.
Well, my old story about number 43, Richard Petty.
Yes.
He gets married to this 15-year-old girl way back, I don't know how long ago. They're both still living and still married.
No, she's since deceased.
Oh, she has?
Judy's been dead about 2 years, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. So they get married, and like 30 days into the wedding, she's concerned because Richard has not once said to her, I love you. And she's thinking maybe she's made a mistake. She's a 15-year-old girl. And so she goes up to him and says, Richard, I don't want to interrupt you in your race car driving, but I just want to ask you, do you still love me? He says, well, yeah, what makes you ask that? She says, well, you haven't told me since the wedding. And he looked at her and he said, woman, I love you. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Now, I know of one poor woman who woke up Sunday morning on Valentine's Day, and it was not a good day. And that was the mother of Iowa Hawkeye Reserve defensive back Omar Truitt. He was arrested and charged with drunken driving Sunday morning. He was pulled over for a traffic stop at the intersection of Iowa Avenue and Lynn Street about 12:40 a.m. That was Sunday morning when the officer smelled alcohol, according to an Iowa City police complaint. The breath test showed Truitt had a blood alcohol content of 0.09. over the legal limit of 0.08. The charge is Truitt's first arrest for drunken driving, a serious misdemeanor. He could spend up to a year in prison if convicted. That will not happen.
That will not happen.
That will not happen.
Is that a little nitpicking? Is there a big difference between 0.8 and 0.9, Bob?
No, but the limit in the state is 0.08.
Is that like a policeman pulling you over doing 56 and a 55?
No, not when it comes to alcohol.
Oh. The University of Iowa Athletics Department press release Monday said the department was gathering information on Truitt's arrest. I just think that's a shame. Out of all the people that got picked up driving 0.28, 0.39 this weekend, and there were those out there.
Sure.
This guy makes the news because he's an Iowa Hawkeye Reserve defensive back, which means he isn't even close to first string. But I read the story, so I'm guilty, I guess. We have really gotten out of our skin when it comes to drunk driving, and it's Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and every one of those women have a wonderful reason why they want to fight. It's because they lost their kid or their niece or nephew in a drunk driving accident, and I do understand, but 0.08...
Well, there's a move out there to lower it to 0.05.
Yeah.
And in Europe, it's like zero tolerance.
Yeah, zero
I'm just
tolerance.
saying that there are a lot of studies out there that show that people are impaired at that level.
Yeah.
0.08 and less.
Well, are there?
Yes.
Are there studies that Well, you did that for a living, so I'm not going to argue with you, but...
Well, all defense attorneys do.
There is impairment shown under 0.08.
Yeah, it depends on the type of drinker and your experience.
Well, Bob spent 35 years with the Department of
Public Safety.
Yeah, DCI, and he is one of the country's most outstanding experts on alcohol and what it does to you when you're driving a car. So I won't argue with you, but man, because when I started driving back in the early 70s, I think it was 0.18, wasn't it?
It could have been 0.15.
Okay.
And then it was 0.10 for a long, long time. And you know what? People fought it at 0.15.
Yeah.
Oh, not too many people are drunk at that, and they fought it at 0.10 for all those years.
So how many beers would it take to be at 0.8?
Okay, if it's about a 155-pound person.
Who weighs 155?
Let's say 200-pound person.
Yeah.
To be an 08?
Yeah.
Okay, probably about 5 beers in the system.
Is that consecutive beers, or is that a time in between?
That would
What
be
do you mean consecutive?
Well, if you...
No, he's taking a shot of tequila in between.
You burn off 1 drink per hour. 1 beer per hour, your body will metabolize.
So 5, if a 200-pound man drank...
Six-pack in an hour.
If a 200-pound man drank 5 beers and he walked out of the bar, he would immediately be an 08.
Well, it takes about 25 minutes, 30 minutes on an empty stomach to get up there.
So this guy's at an 09, and he's, probably bigger than 200 pounds.
Yep.
I don't know.
Sounds kind of nitpicky to me, but
yeah, kind of. But
you've got to draw the line somewhere.
Well, but you know what they have in Iowa City now? It's gone the other way. Under Hayden Fry, and if you tell me I'm wrong on this, that's fine. I'll respect your opinion, but I know you're wrong. Hayden Fry had a deal going with the cops in Iowa City, and if one of his boys got picked up, somebody was called, and that young man was taken care of and sent home, and there were no charges filed. Now, there were some consequences you'd pay with Grandpa Hayden, but you never saw, you know what never means? You never saw any of Hayden Fry's players get picked up for drinking and driving. And because he had a deal with the Iowa City Police.
Well, if you get picked up, aren't you supposed to refuse any kind of field tests and make them take you to jail and give you a blood test? And by the time you get the blood test, your alcohol goes down by the time they get you tested?
Depends on how low you are.
If you refuse a sobriety test on location, the Department of Transportation is authorized to remove your driver's license for the next 12 months.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
Next 12 months. So you don't want to do that. All right, we're coming back live here.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed right or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money-back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
All right. 3:38, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. Salem Radio Network News at the top. And then Max World, second hour today, as we continue to discuss some of the things that happened in our community over the weekend and Valentine's Day. And one of Frank's very favorite Valentines is on the Service Master Truth text phone-in line at 244-0077. Jessica, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So you're telling me your father didn't bring you a Valentine's Day card?
I did not get a Valentine's Day card from my father.
Did you get one from your husband?
No, he never buys cards. He says they're a waste of money.
Well, but he could home make a card.
But did you get one from Junior?
No, Junior didn't give me one either.
So you didn't get any Valentine's Day card?
No Valentine's.
All right, Jessica, I'm going to treat you to a real treat here. Have you ever been sung Happy Valentine's Day?
No. It's okay.
Huh?
It's okay.
But have you ever been sung Happy Valentine's Day?
No, and if you sing to me, I will get embarrassed and my face will turn red.
Yeah, but it's radio. We won't know. Come on, boys. It's the trio here. Me. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I'm the only one singing. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Jessica. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
That makes up for no card. Thank you.
All right, I would hope so. All right, what's your thought there, Pee-wee?
Well, so, Dad, I hear you say that you think .09 is nitpicking.
Yeah.
Was it nitpicking when that man hit me and almost killed me who was drinking and driving?
Was he an 09?
I don't know what he was.
Oh.
He almost killed me.
Well, no, I don't want anybody to hit anybody. I think that we're supposed to be able to supposedly handle a car at 0.8.
Hey, Frank, do you see what that thing is in front of you?
Yes.
It's fresh crow. I'd eat it now while I could.
But, I don't know. I mean, that's why I was asking Bob. Bob is 0.9.
Okay, hold on. There's a teachable moment here. Just hold on. Everybody just go about doing what you're doing. I just want to talk to Frank. Frank, tell your daughter you were wrong. You were terribly mistaken. And anybody drinking who hit his daughter is way, way, way too much.
Well, yes, that's true.
See? How about that, Jessica?
That's what I was looking for.
I knew you were. Congratulations. Your father's teachable.
Thank you.
You're very
for
welcome.
working on him.
Thank you for listening.
All right.
All right. Speaking of the service master, or the service legends, Truth Text Talk line at 809-0993. What do we have there, Robert?
Okay, the question is, and it's two, isn't the limit for truck drivers even lower? And the second one is it true that mouthwash can give a false reading?
Yes, mouthwash can give a false reading because mouthwash is like 60% alcohol.
Yes, but it won't give a false reading, and I'll explain that. But let me answer the first one.
Hold on, wait a minute. It doesn't give a false reading?
No, not the way it's done, not the way they're tested.
A BAC?
Right, a breath test?
Yeah.
Or a blood test? Yeah, blood test, you don't have to worry. It's the breath test. The breath test, yeah, you're right. Alcohol or mouthwash has alcohol at a high level.
Right.
It's denatured so people won't drink it. But some people drink it anyway.
Oh, yeah, I know a lot of alcoholics who do.
That'll drink mouthwash. But
it'll show up on a blow and go.
If a person uses it in their mouth and they blow directly into a alcohol breath tester, it'll register. But
if I drank a quart of Listerine at 60% alcohol, that's not going to show up as beer, alcohol, blood alcohol level?
No, it will.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you said it wouldn't.
No, it will. But what I'm saying is it won't register on a breath test the way it's done.
Okay.
The officer is required to wait 15 minutes prior to giving a breath test. And within 15 minutes, any mouth alcohol will evaporate out of the mouth.
Okay.
Okay, so if you drank it and consumed it, it'll get into your blood system and it'll test.
Just my shot of Listerine in the morning and then my gargle, that won't show up anywhere.
No.
Okay.
Not when they wait to 15
I don't know
minutes.
how you could ever swallow that stuff anyway. That's just gross.
Right. And then now the truck drivers, they have a limit of 0.04.
Yeah. CDL.
Right.
Any CDL.
CDL.
Mm-hmm. Commercial driver's license.
And if you get picked up in a car drinking and driving, you lose your CDL, right?
If you have a CDL?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know that.
The way I understand is there's zero tolerance for drinking and driving if you have a CDL.
I'm not aware of its zero tolerance. 0.04 is what it is. It has to be less. It has to be less than 0.04.
No, but I'm saying if you was picked up at an 08 in a car, you would lose your license. You'd lose your CDL, right?
Well, let's back up. What you're saying is if you were picked at a 0.07. Because at a 0.07, you're okay if you have a regular driver's license.
Correct.
What I think you're saying, Frank, I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but if you have a CDL, it's 0.04 and nothing over.
That's right, even in a car.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because because the CDL does not, you don't have two driver's licenses.
Right,
you have one.
You have a CDL. That's it.
Right, okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah, and I unfortunately have too much experience at this. The only reason I talk about it is because God tells me to. He puts me through all kinds of experience in my life, and just like some pastors, he gives me the ability to share with it, and it's in hopes that it'll change somebody's mind. If you ever have a grandson or a son or a daughter or anybody like that, teenage years, early teens, early 20s, messing around with drinking and driving, you call Mac. I'm serious. I'll spend my money in my car and my gas to come down and sit with that person. There is no drinking and driving. Forget the possible consequences if you should hurt someone. The law, it is one of the most punitive damages you can ever receive. They mess with you every which way but Sunday. And then a little bit of that, too, if you like Chick-fil-A. Your driver's license, your insurance, your legal fees, your fines, you're on probation.
And that's not even talking about civil litigation.
That's right.
After criminal.
That's right. So just take it from somebody that played with alcohol. I've said this before. I don't think this is any new news, but I didn't drink till I was 34 years old. I mean, I grew up in a household where alcohol was all the way around it, and I just never liked the taste of it. I just never liked it, and I had enough problems keeping control of myself when I was in control of myself, let alone when I took stuff, drank stuff, inhaled stuff that made me not in control of myself. And I'm so happy now that I'm 2,109 days sober. Is that right? I'm going to look that up.
You said 2,105 the other day.
Well, that'd be about right because we got through the weekend. Let me look at my little handy
Because you
dandy.
did say 2108.
2108.
And you had to go back and revise that.
Yeah, 2108 today. 2108.
Let me ask you a question.
He's 6 years in May.
Basically about that. Do you use mouthwash to gargle
Yeah,
with?
sure.
That doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay.
I'm blessed. I can't tell you anything other than I'm blessed. My wife and I can go out for lunch or dinner or whatever, and I'm with anybody, and they can drink. Now, my wife's never had a drinking problem, and never will, but she might have a margarita if we go to a Mexican restaurant. It doesn't faze me. If Frank wanted to go out and get whacked, I could be his designated driver, and it just. I don't know. I'm just blessed. It's nothing I did. Just understand, there is not a tolerance that I obtained for alcohol or the lack of. I surrendered my life and my will to God, and He said, if you do that, I'm going to take that desire to drink away. And I've had a couple. I was about 90 days sober, and I had a situation where I think the Holy Spirit just kind of wanted to, kind of like God removed himself from Job. I was it's what we call playmates and playgrounds. And I was with the wrong playmates at the wrong playground, and alcohol was running around. And anyway, I had a situation. And then there was a situation in which my son was in trouble, and I felt powerless to help him. And I just kind of wanted to run away and dive inside of a bottle, but I didn't do that either. So,
didn't you say there's certain hangouts that bother you though?
Yeah, I can't go to any of my old stomping grounds. That's playmates and playgrounds. Yeah, we have a new little Mexican restaurant that CJ likes to go to, and they make a real good margarita Saturday afternoon. It'll be the last stop we make at 3:30, and then we'll go home, and we're home for the night. And but then I don't have a problem with there. But yeah, if I go to some of my old stomping grounds, music, faces, people, a lot of people don't understand alcoholism as a disease. They think you just control how much you drink, and I wish. If you are an alcoholic, you already know this, but I'm allergic to alcohol. I break out in the stupids. Sometimes I don't even have to be drinking to do that. All right, we're coming back live here on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Ten minutes before 4 o'clock, 3:50 live here in Max World on 99.3 The Truth. We sure do appreciate you stopping by this afternoon. Next hour, we're going to talk about all the different cases that are going to be impacted, the ones that are already on the books that are going to be impacted by Scalia's untimely and I just
mysterious.
I just think it should be questioned.
Questionable.
I'm sorry. The guy, they find him with a pillow over his head, and they don't do an autopsy, and his body's already been cremated. I just don't think a federal judge mysteriously dies in a strange place, and they don't do an autopsy.
It has been cremated already?
Yes. I just can't believe that. Just drives me crazy. All right, we're going to talk about that next hour. Des Moines police caught a Marshalltown man who reportedly kidnapped the mother of his children at gunpoint. Thomas Lopez, 21, is in Polk County Jail on a $200,000 bond for second-degree kidnapping and other charges after allegedly showing up at his girlfriend's home at 3 a.m. and forcing her into the car. The woman told police she agreed to let Lopez inside her house because he wanted to discuss the kids. Okay, just help me to figure out who's stupider here. Oh, 3 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, you want to come in? Sure, come on in. Although she has a no-contact order against him. The couple have 2 children together and 1 on the way. The Iowa Department of Human Services involved due to another no-contact order that Mr. Lopez has against him. Once inside, Lopez pulled her around the house by her hair. Lopez says things like, "You're not going to do this to me, and I'm not going to prison." He pulled out 2 handguns, threatened to kill the woman. Lopez forced her way into the car, sped off, and spun out of control on the snowy roads and jumped the curb on University Avenue. The woman escaped from the car and ran to a nearby house to call police. Lopez apparently took off running because police tracked his fresh footprints in the snow and found him hiding in his girlfriend's car back at her house. In the backseat of Lopez's car was a backpack containing 2 of the handguns the woman had described and 2 holsters. Police also found a locked safe and key, which they did not open but took back to the police station. The woman also handed police a bulletproof vest that she took from the car before escaping. Police found another vest hidden beneath a bed back at the house. Lopez was arrested for second-degree kidnapping, violation of a no-contact order, possession of a weapon as a felon, and domestic abuse assault with intent while displaying a weapon.
So what's the moral of that story?
If I said what's on my mind, I'd probably get fired.
Well, the moral of that story is a woman can have a no-contact order, and her husband can still get to her, boyfriend can still get to her. And how many women have ended up dead on their doorstep with their no-contact orders in their hand?
Frank, she let him in the door at 3 a.m.
Well, he was either looking for one of 2 things, and you can guess what those were, a fight or the other. And I'm just telling you that she should have been armed with a handgun, and when he done that, she should have took him out.
And see here, guys, you just if I could pry open my chest here, I want you to listen to the sound of squeaky hinges as I opened up my chest. Do you see that pumping heart right there? That is not a bleeding heart. That is not a liberal heart. That is not a progressive heart. That is a heart that understands the difference between right and wrong and consequences. I'm shutting it now. I mean, seriously, the woman's got 2 children plus 1 in the warming basket with this guy, a no-contact order, and she lets him in the house. Now, here, I want to ask a serious question. Can I ask a serious question? Shouldn't she lose custody of those children?
Probably, because she put her children in danger.
This is not a competent mother.
That was child endangerment. If supposedly he was such a terrible guy that he wasn't supposed to be around her, she committed child endangerment.
But the mother will never be. That poor mother. Think of the horror that she went through.
That's because in society, only the men are perceived as the terrible, brute aggressors and not the women. But that woman is dumb.
I mean, at least she had a no-contact order against him. But my gosh, I don't know. I just think we ask for so much of the trouble. I know there's somebody listening out right now that just thinks I'm a horrible person because I'm not thinking of the poor woman and what he put her through. And what? Is she retarded? Does she have the ability to make choices on her own? Apparently she can do that because she's got 2 kids born and 1 on the way. I don't know. I don't know. You know, my grandpappy taught me to take responsibility for my consequences. If I ever would have done what that young man did,
find some women in the world, Mac, and I'm not saying this is the case here, but there is some women who will tend to lord the kids over the man, and I don't know if that's what was going on here or not, but it sounds like to me she's not an innocent bystander in this.
Well, and just for what it's worth, there's men that do that over the women, too. I mean, that's just a human, evil, black heart condition. I don't know. We as Christians, what's the moral in the story for those of us that follow Jesus? Keep your legs together. Get married before you have babies. If you think the guy's going to hurt you, don't ever go around him again. Keep your kids from him. Move far, far away. Don't let him in the house. Why didn't you pray? I don't know. I'm trying. I don't want to be that kind of guy, but common sense. God gave me common sense, for heaven's sakes. He gave us all common sense. We were all born equal in this world with the same amount of common sense. Nobody was born with more. Nobody was born with less. You learned less, and you learned more. I must admit, it took me longer than most to learn more. And I'm still not as sharp as I'd like to be, and I'm 57 years old. But for heaven's sakes. All right. Anthony Scalia. Think about the Godfather. He's dead. We don't know why. We just have to take it that he was a natural causes.
Yeah, right.
There are 6 arguments before the court right now that will be drastically changed based on the fact that we are going to have a 4-4 tie. Do you know what happens with a federal case that goes before the Iowa Supreme Court where they vote on it 4-4?
Yeah.
Goes back to the previous state ruling.
Right.
All right, we'll talk about some of those cases and how they can impact you when we come back. I'm J. Michael McCoy. I'm just going to tell you my name, so if you want to write a nasty letter, you can do that. I'll listen to it. Mac, M-A-C, at McCoy, MCKOY.net. Go to webcast1live.com, wherever you can find me, Facebook me. Tell me what you think. I'm okay with that. I just think stupid people shouldn't breathe. And we ought to hold people responsible for their actions. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but more than that. I don't feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the kids, but not for her. All right, we're coming back.